Welcome to Step Into Your Story. I'm Carla Goldberg, and this is a space where you could breathe, listen inward, and step into the story your soul is guiding you toward. I'm starting a new series, and we're going to be talking about what it feels like to be held so you can grow spiritually. In this episode, I'm going to talk about what it truly means to be held, not just emotionally, but energetically and spiritually. We'll look at how each layer of holding shows up in our body and in our field. This is a foundation for everything we'll explore in the upcoming episodes. So let's go ahead and dive in and start talking about what it is to be held. What does that mean? Basically, being held is the experience of not having to carry everything in your own system. It's the moment your body stops bracing and your inner world has somewhere to land. You're emotionally, energetic, and spiritual are not just one layer. The body feels it first when you're experiencing things, and then your brain picks up on it. So the body feels held first, and then the brain will slowly come around. It's the shift from gripping into grounding. When you are grounded, you feel held. That's part of it. So what does being held look like in real life, right? We can use all these fancy, spancy spiritual words, but what does it really look like? When you are truly being held, someone meets you without fixing, managing, or redirect you. They just meet you where you're at. There's no hidden agenda. They're not trying to get you to do something. Your emotions feel witnessed rather than evaluated. Your energy stops scattering or leaking. You feel contained, not constrained. So, what does it feel like to be held? What does that feel like in your body? You feel a softening in your chest, your belly, and your throat. Thoughts slow down, they get organized so you can articulate them. You have a sense of knowing that you're not alone in that moment. So let's start by talking about the layer most of us recognize first, and that's the emotional layer. And I want to tell you this, your feelings make sense. They always have. When you're having feelings, it's usually your body trying to tell you something. And so, what does emotional holding look like? What is that? It's the sense that your inner experience has somewhere safe to land. Someone being with you without trying to fix you or redirect you or polish you up or just improve this one little thing. That's judgment when they get to try and do the making you better, right? The emotional body feels met rather than managed. That's emotional holding. So, what does emotional holding do? It stabilizes our nervous system. It allows our nervous system to stop performing and just embrace where we're at. The emotional holding creates the foundation of deeper layers of support, and it makes trust and openness possible. So, that emotional holding is key. So, we need to feel emotionally held, and we need to find people who will do that for us. So, once your emotional body feels your needs are met and it you feel held, something deeper begins to organize. And if you've ever felt calmer being around someone, you already know what this layer is. And we all have people that when that person is sitting next to you, you just feel more calm. In that moment, they are holding you. And there's something, a sense of a peace we can sometimes get from people, and that is energetic holding, which is our second layer. And the energetic holding is that invisible architecture that organizes our field. It's created through resonance, coherence, and steadiness. It's a container that keeps you from spilling out. It's not a cage, but a boundary, and a sense that your energy is being held, not just your emotions. So, what does that look like? What does energetic holding look like? And what does it do? Well, here's what it does. Energetic holding helps your energy stop scattering or leaking. It allows intuition to rise because the survival mode quiets. And I spend a lot of time helping people develop their intuition. And part of that is energetically holding them. And that's a real skill to develop, and it takes time. And some people are just naturally gifted. It's something I really do very well. So I'm fortunate that way, that I can just do it without trying. And the energetic holding supports you in staying open without collapsing. So let's talk about spiritual holding. What does that look like? And that's another layer that holds you even when no one else is in the room. It's beyond emotional or energetic layers. This is deeper, older form of holding. And you are not walking this life alone, even if it feels that way. There are presences that have been holding you long before you even knew how to ask for them to hold you. And that's the spiritual holding. That's the third layer. And spiritual holding is the support from something larger than just your personal will, than just your tenacity, than just your grit. It's something outside that. It's an ancestral presence, guides, Gaia, synchronicities, unseen realms, a sense of belonging to a lineage or a rhythm. It's a quiet knowing that you're not navigating life alone. And isn't that exciting? Because there's times where we all feel like this life sucks and I am stuck in a loop and I'm not going anywhere. But I want you to hear me. You are not navigating life alone. Your spiritual holding is always there. We have to tap into it and recognize it. And here's what the spiritual holding does. It really focuses on softening that sense that we're alone, because we are not. It reconnects us to meaning and purpose. It expands the field beyond human. It helps us realize there's so many possibilities out there, and not just on our physical world, but there's it can go beyond science. It goes beyond frequencies. It goes beyond things we can understand. And it prepares our system for community and reciprocity. These layers don't exist separately. They weave together. Let's look at how some of these forms of holding work together inside you. So we have the three layers, right? We have the emotional, the energetic, and the spiritual. And I want you to think of a braid, right? You have your three strands, and together, when they're braided together, it's a braid. Without them coming together, they're just chunks of strands of hair, right? And so we're going to braid these together. The emotional holding is going to ground you. Your energetic holding stabilizes the field, and your spiritual holding expands the horizon. All those things you didn't think were possible are possible. And together, all three of those, the energetic, the emotional, and the spiritual, together, they create the full experience of being held, not just comfort, but coherence. That moment where things just come together and you just think, yes, I am here. And there's no expectation. That's when the three are together and braided and coherent. When they're all three present, the system can finally reorganize, soften, and receive. If receiving support has ever felt complicated for you, or you're like, I've never had that, you're not alone. There are reasons your system learned to protect itself, and we'll walk through them gently as we go through this series about how to um, work through that. Because when you were young, we've all experienced trauma. When we were young, we didn't have the ability to break things down, to make things make sense. So what we did is we stuck it in a pocket and buried it deep, and we put protectors around it because we couldn't deal with that. We didn't have the capacity. But now as an adult, it's time to start unpacking that. And part of that process is removing those protectors. And that's a whole thing in and of itself. So let's go back to what we're talking about today. And I want to give you some easy homework. And I say easy in terms of it doesn't take a lot of time. These are micro moments of holding. So maybe throughout this week, I want you to think about, when have you had micro moments where you feel even 1% more supported? An example might be when you are near a tree, when you breathe, when you hear a song, a moment of stillness, a moment of someone just holding your hand. And I want you to silently name it. You don't have to do it silently. I want you to name it and say, this is holding. I want you to start identifying when you feel held, even if it's just 1% more. Okay. It's not total, I'm 100% feeling held right now. It can be 1% more. And maybe it's something simple like someone talking to you and making eye contact, and how you felt more held just because they made eye contact. Right. And it would be great, especially those of you who are writers, to just keep a journal and just start writing every time you felt even a little bit more held. Because we have a habit of, when things are going bad, we keep looking for bad. And if we have a list of things, here's how I felt held and more supported, we can go back to those when we're having those days, right? And really kind of help us reframe, because sometimes we need that. So this activity of noticing when you feel held is going to train your nervous system to recognize safety in small doses. It builds capacity without pressure. It's going to prepare you for our next episode, where we're going to be exploring resistance. Oh, she didn't say it. She did. Resistance. So definitely come back for the next episode. But thank you for being here. And if you found this at all helpful, please share this episode with someone, write a review. I'm on all Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, the whole gamut. And please share, because I want you and the people you know to realize you are held. Your voice, your healing, your presence, they all matter. Until next time, walk gently, listen closely, and keep stepping into your story.